AI has been progressing in leaps and bounds. Interacting with ChatGPT feels like magic. OpenAI, ChatGPT's creator, is reportedly valued at about $29 billion. Microsoft is looking to invest $10 billion. But there is a dark and sad side to this magic, a terrible story that deserves to be told. A story about cheap labour and about people being subjected to the worst that humanity produces. AI's promise is to let machines do the boring work, the repetitive tasks, the manual labour. That should be left to computers. But behind the magic of ChatGPT lies a very different reality. Allow me to explain. To understand what it's all about, let's start with a basic AI problem. Imagine we've programmed an AI. We want it to scan an image and identify any kittens that are in that image. To put it another way, we want our AI to label images. In a sense, our AI is like a child, not a computer. It doesn't follow predefined rules to make its decisions, nor does it know what to do. It has no knowledge. What it does have is the ability to learn. Our AI needs to be taught, it needs to be trained. But how do you train an AI? Well, you feed it data. In our example, you give it 2 sets of images, and you tell it, these are kittens and these are not. But you don't give it all the data, you keep some back. And that allows you to test how good the AI is using the data it hasn't seen yet. The better you want your AI to be, the more data you need to train it and to test it. But how do you get that data? Who labels the images to train the model? Well, certainly not the computer. You see, we need humans to teach computers. And the task of manually labeling content is boring and repetitive, and certainly not something you want highly paid engineers to be doing. So that work goes to low-paid workers. Now, as far as unskilled work goes, labeling kittens is kind of at the cute and sparkly end of the spectrum. Somewhat less cute and more controversial is the task of making sure that the voice recognition algorithms in vocal assistants like Siri, Alexa, and Google Assistant are working properly. That's a lot more boring, and it raises privacy concerns because it implies these low-paid workers will be listening to what people have said and checking for accuracy. But for the AIs to improve, that has to be done manually. There isn't any other way. How does all this relate to ChatGPT? Well, ChatGPT has been fed whole swaths of the internet and is open to everyone. And while there are a lot of very exciting new uses for such a powerful tool, there are also a lot of people with sick imaginations. How do you know what content is harmful or offensive? OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, has delegated this task to a company called Sama. Sama is based in San Francisco. They made a comfortable $90 million in 2022. They help to label offensive and harmful content. But to do that, they send that content to workers in India and Uganda and Kenya. And these workers are paid between $1 and $2 an hour, and they're exposed to some of the worst content that the human psyche has to offer. Well, offer might not be the right word here. And that has an impact on their mental health. Time magazine interviewed several workers who said they were expected to read and label between 150 and 250 passages of text per 9-hour shifts. The snippets could range from 100 words to over 1,000. Workers said they were psychologically scarred by the job. They could have sessions with wellness counsellors, but these were infrequent because of the demand for high productivity. Now, in the spring of 2022, Sama decided to stop working with OpenAI, but when employees were informed, they replied that, for us, this was a way to provide for our families. I'm not sure there are that many other solutions. If we're going to have the magic of ChatGPT without the darker side of human nature rearing its ugly head, there has to be a human somewhere to flag offensive content, at least for now. But are these workers being supported morally and financially? Are they paid fairly for wading through the muck? The good news is, once the data has been labelled, it doesn't need to be labelled again. Artificial intelligence can learn. But I, for one, will always remember the hidden cost that has been suffered by workers in Kenya to make ChatGPT a reality.